welcome to a new video. As you all might know, I've done an exchange to Spain for 5 months where I went to a local high school, and I thought it would be nice because I just got back from Spain to make a little video about it and tell you guys a little bit about my experience, and for the people who are thinking about going on an exchange, to tell a little bit about overall my experience, the positives, the negatives, and things I might have done differently now that I'm looking back on my exchange. So let's get into the video. Hi guys, me here. I just noticed that in not all the videos you can see my complete face, so sorry for that, please ignore it. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what my experience was, where I went and what I did, so you guys have an idea. So I am from the Netherlands, and I went to Alicante, which is a city right next to the Mediterranean Sea. And there I went to a high school for 5 months and lived with a host family. I had a host father, a host mother, and a host sister of 10 years old. And I lived together with them for 5 months. So I finished my high school in the Netherlands last year. So this is actually like, how do you call that in English? Do you call it like, like a year in between high school and university, because I didn't really know what I wanted to study yet. And also, I felt like I was really young to go to university already. So I decided to take a gap year. That is the name. Thank you. I decided to take a gap year. And then, I was thinking like, what am I going to do in my gap year? Because I don't want to be at home for a year and do nothing. So I wanted to do something. And then I saw a high school program. At first, I saw this for America. So I actually thought about going America too, in a whole lot of different countries. But in the end, I decided to go to Spain because I already spoke English well. So I thought it would be better to learn a language that I didn't yet know really well. So that's why I decided to go to Spain, so that I could practice that language a little more. Looking back on my exchange, I had a really fun time and I enjoyed it, and I definitely do not regret going to Spain to study. And I really enjoyed it. There were, of course, also hard things. So if you're thinking about doing an exchange, you should also think about the hard things, because not everything is always easy. And I do not say this because I'm trying to discourage you from doing an exchange. You should definitely still do it if you want to do it. But I'm just saying it that you should be prepared for something such as homesickness, because of my parents that weren't there and we called. So that was really nice. But I sometimes really did miss my parents and overall my country. And looking back on my exchange, I think the best thing to do if you're really homesick is to try and find distractions. Because I know this sounds like, you can say that, but it's really hard. Yeah, it is. But try not to think about your home country too much. Although, of course, if you're homesick, you're going to think about it because you can't stop that. But try to find distractions or activities in the country you're going to on an exchange to find distractions that can make you see all the good things about your host country, so that you can see all the good things your host country has to offer, and also talk about it with people. Now, another thing is the language. So, of course, because I went to Spain, the language is differently, so that makes it a little harder to talk and a little harder to express myself. So what I tried to do is to talk as much as possible, but looking back on my exchange, I could have done that more, because sometimes I was afraid of like making mistakes in the language. And instead of just saying things, I said nothing because I was afraid of the mistakes that I would make. But I think that it's really important to just say it, because people don't care if you make mistakes. Like, if you make a grammar mistake, no one's gonna care. People care that you talk, that you try, that they care about you trying to learn their language. So it's really totally fine if you don't speak the language perfectly. Just try to speak as much as possible, even about silly things. Like, try to learn as much of the language as possible, and don't be afraid of getting it wrong. Another common question is, was it easy to make friends? So for me, the first day when I came to an introduction at the school, one girl already smiled at me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to remember that girl and try if I can like talk to her later. So then the next school day, I saw that the same girl was sitting alone. So I was so nervous. I was really nervous, but I just walked up to her and I said, hey, can I sit next to you? And she said yes. And then I just started to try and make conversation. And in the end, we ended up as friends. So I think it's really important to just talk to people, because I know that can be like really English words, guys. Like, I know you can be nervous if you need to talk to people that you don't know. Like, you come there and you don't know anyone. So that can be bad, but look, you need to do it. I'm going to tell you, you need to do that, because if you don't, people in my like experience are less likely to come to you. So what I experienced is, when in the end after 5 months I left, and then like I talked a little bit to people, because in the tutor lessons we talked a little bit about it, and I found that people were like really interested in me. Like, they were interested in me and my country and in my language and all that. I think it was just that moment that I really realized that people really did want to talk to me. But because I didn't make the first step, they didn't talk to me either. So I really kind of like the first friend, that friend that I told you guys about that I made on the first day. So I really kind of stayed with her the entire exchange and didn't talk that much to other people. But I now feel like I could have talked more to other people and they would have liked it, because I was kind of worried that maybe they wouldn't like it if I tried to like infiltrate in their friend group or whatever. But in the end, I realized that maybe they would have liked it, and now I didn't do it, and now I don't have the chance to do it again. Next topic is school. School is chaos. School. Someone told me before I went on exchange, school in Spain is chaos. So no one really respects the teacher, and people were dancing on tables when I went on my exchange to Spain, and I was like, really? People danced on tables? Like, you must be joking, or you must be exaggerating things, because people don't dance on tables in a lesson and then the teacher does nothing about it, right? But school in Spain, I experienced it too. No one really respects the teacher. Also, it really does depend on the teacher. So some teachers really do get respected, but some teachers, people talk during the entire class and just, they're not really serious in class. At least that's what I experienced too in Spain. So I think that you shouldn't be surprised if school is a little bit less like strict, or if some random things happen, like someone got a cardboard and built a cardboard house in the class, and then went out to sit in that box house. So it was also kind of funny because so many things happened. But be prepared for that, and for basically just informalities at school. Okay, right now I'm going to talk about my host family. So my host family was amazing. I love my host family. They were really nice people and they really cared about me. They asked me like questions like how I was doing, if I was good, and I really love those people. So I already told you I had a sister of 10 years old and we played together a lot. Like, we did a lot of things with Beanie Boos too. We did a lot of things with Beanie Boos and overall just games. So if you go to a host family and that host family has a kid, definitely play with them, do things together and have fun. And also just recommend doing things with your host family in general, because it's really nice and you really don't want to be in your room watching TV shows all day. Of course, if you want to watch a TV show, that's fine. But for example, this is also that was someone else said to me before I went on my exchange. But for example, if you want to watch a TV show, do it like in the living room. Try not to keep in your room all the time, because you're kind of distancing yourself from your host family, and if you are together with them, you can really build a relationship. Also, I did a lot of fun activities with my host family. So we went, for example, with Christmas, we went to the city with, more English words that I don't know. That thing you celebrate after Christmas when you have like the three kings. There we went to like a an optocht, cabalgata. I don't know the word, guys. And also cooking. The Spanish food is amazing. It is at different times though, so you eat really late in general. I really got used to quick, so I liked it. And well, try new foods too, because they have different foods. They eat warm at lunch. They just, in general, their food is different, but definitely do try it. I mean, I know everyone's taste is different, but I love the Spanish food. So if there's something you don't know, do not try it. For example, I tried that recipe, was just like tomato soup, cold kind of thing, gazpacho. I didn't like it, but I ate it anyway, and I'm glad I tried. So I tried it, I didn't like it, but that's fine, because after all, everything you try is just a new experience. Another small thing is the solo travel thing. So I didn't really travel much. I went to a few places, and the last week of my exchange, I went to some nearby cities, but I didn't really travel much. And in the end, I kind of like regret it. Like, not regret it, like not that much, but I think it would have been fun if I'd seen a little more. Another small thing is the weather, because the weather is warm. I know, the weather is really warm, even in winter, but I made a mistake, because I thought, okay, the weather is warm, that's great, so I'm only going to take one sweater with me. But yeah, the winter is warm, it is, but it is still cold. So you can't go with a t-shirt in the winter, you can't do that. So I made a mistake of thinking the weather's warm, so I'm going to pack almost none of my warm clothes. That was a mistake. So if you go, do pack warm clothes too, because you're going to need them as well. And keep some space in your suitcase, or get 2 suitcases, because I bought a lot of things. I also bought my sweaters, because if I didn't, I would have been really cold. And the last thing I want to talk about is, I don't know if this more for me personally, because at school in the Netherlands, I was kind of like, I studied a lot. And in Spain, I did the exact same thing. I worked really hard in Spain to get good grades. But because of that, I also had less free time. I didn't really need those marks for my school in the Netherlands, because I already finished it. So if I look back, I would have worked a little less on school, because I think that the most important thing is not school, but the culture, the language, and everything you learn. Like, you get independent, all that. I think that would have been more important than the grades. So if you need your grades for like your school in your home country, of course it's really important to get good grades, but it's just something for me personally, that now I think maybe I study too much and didn't get to do some of the fun things that I might have done if I hadn't studied. Okay, so yeah, that was the video, and I now told some negative things too, but don't pay too much attention to that, because an exchange is fun. You're going to have fun. And I told the negative things because you need to be prepared that there are negative things as well, because an exchange isn't perfect. But overall, an exchange is really great, so please don't get discouraged. And I had a really fun time. I had an amazing host family. We did a lot of cool activities, and I learned a lot of Spanish, a lot of culture. I got more independent. So yeah, I really recommend this experience. So I hope to see you in the next video, and bye, Twilights! Okay guys, I wet my shoes, I wet my Beanie Boo, I wet my tag, I shouted more water with other people in the background, and I almost lost my wallet, but it's a wrap. I keep finding it surprising that I can just go outside, walk 10 minutes and see this. And it's the time of siesta, so there's like no one here.